So right off the bat, this is going to be a 2-in-1 map. So it's going to be awesome. Better than the others I've did. I'm doing something completely different than what I've done before. And it's going to be interesting. You can see me counting squares on the grid. I'm not the type of person that can memorize how many squares are on a thing, even though I use it all the time. But I counted down, I think 32, something like that. So I count back up, get to half, whatever half of that was, I think 16. So, yeah. And then from there, I go out and I make a line because I want to be in the middle of the map. And I count up 6 squares because I'm about to make this map 12 by 12 1-inch grid squares, which equates to 60 feet long. It's going to be 60 feet tall, 60 feet wide, yada, yada. And 60 feet in 5-foot squares translates, I think, to 3,600 square feet in that said map. So that's going to be a big map, even though it looks small on this, because if you think about it, that is a huge paper. Like, I don't even know why I bought a paper that big. I just do. But there I go. I've drawn it out now. It's, like I said, 60 feet by 60 feet. It'd be 12 5-foot squares, 3,600 square feet. And then here, wipe all the stuff off, and I go to the other side, and I'm making a second map. Except instead of making it 12 by 12, I'm making it 14 by 14. So instead of 60 feet by 60 feet, that's going to equate to 70 feet by 70 feet, yeah. So 70 feet by 70 feet equates out to 4,900 square feet. So that's an even bigger map just by adding those 2 squares. So in this one, we're going to make a bandit camp. The other one is going to be just a regular campsite. This one is going to be a bandit camp. Now, it's going to be for the never-ending winter campaign, but of course this is going with my other grids, so it's something that I'll be able to recycle through time. Get it all counted out here. I felt a little froggy with this one, so I didn't take my time drawing the lines. I was just risking the biscuit. I mean, I could have erased the line anyway if I messed up, but it is what it is. I got it just right. So if you look, you can barely see both squares because they're pencil. One's bigger, one's smaller. Not by much, though. So bandit camp and camp. Here we're working on the camp. The first thing I'm going to do is draw a little campfire. So just draw the little stones and whatnot. And it took me forever to get the camera to focus at the right spot, too. Like the other video I tried to draw a map of, it was completely awful. This one, I sat down at the laptop and I turned the camera on, and I basically looked to and fro to see exactly where the camera angle was before I even started making the map. With the little fire drone, I draw the bed rolls that they're going to sleep at. I've got 4 players, so I'm drawing 4 bed rolls. I might have a 5th player next week, maybe even a 6th. But if I do, I'm just going to modify the map a little bit, you know. That wouldn't be hard. Because unlike my other maps, I end up deciding that this one looks good in pencil. So I'm 100% down with it. The bed rolls, I kind of tried to spread out, you know, make them look more natural the way they're laid out, but it didn't quite work out that way when I first drew it. Because I looked at it and I'm like, well, that's just okay. You know, that's not, take a sip of my ginger ale. That's not the greatest looking bedroll layout at all. It doesn't really look that natural, but Once I started drawing rocks like I am now, and trees and everything else, it became more natural looking. I've drawn rocks before on the Crab Island map that we tried to do. Um, that's the best way that we figured to draw them. It's just like lumps with little cracks in them. So I'll make a couple rocks there, and I figure, that would be a good spot for the map. You hide your camp behind some rocks and in some thick trees. It's smart to me, stay hidden, have a small fire. And from here, I attempted to do the tree a certain type of way. I'm thinking I can draw the trunk and then I can bring the limbs out and just make it look natural that way. But if you keep watching, it just looks like a mess. Like, I don't know, somebody might like it that way. I did not. I'm kind of particular. I'm not the best artist in the world, but I'm particular about how I want the map to be laid out. So I'm sitting there, I'm drawing the limbs, and I start looking at it, and I'm like, that's like some kind of messed up spider or something. And color it in. And you're about to see how powerful this eraser is here in a second. Because there I go, just coloring more in, trying to make the branches and limbs thicker, giving the okay, it's okay thing. Not the greatest. Make another big ass tree. That's the way, I'm thinking, make a tree like that. Make it natural. Somebody can hide in like the limbs or something. But I started thinking about it, and I'm like, if I draw the limbs like that, it's just going to make the map look like this giant mess. I mean, I don't have colored pencils or anything to draw the map in right now. And, there I go, just deciding that it's awfully made. I don't want to do the map like that, so just erase it up. And look how powerful that eraser is. You can't even tell that was there. At least I can't. I ain't got good eyes anyway. I wear glasses. But that's a pretty powerful dang eraser on a little pencil right there. I was surprised because when I was doing that, I was worried. I'm like, this is gonna leave a mark. Like this is gonna like show up all nasty and bad on the map, and it's just gonna look tacky. But after it erased, it looked just fine. And then I go through and I start thinking, I can draw another tree, draw more trees. And it's like, how am I going to do the limbs? And I draw that weird little symbol, and I'm like, what am I even doing? And just erase it and start coloring it in. Don't know why I did it in such an odd way, but I did. And when I do this, it feels like the tree's a lot more natural when I color it in. And I wish this camera had better audio so that I could actually talk as I'm doing the video, because I feel like it would feel more natural if I did that. I mean, me sitting here narrating is good too, but I don't think it would be the same as it would be if I was talking while I do it. But one of the bonuses of doing it this way, I guess, is that I get to listen to music while I do it, even though I'm videotaping. Normally I listen to music anyway, but I'm thinking if I had audio on, I couldn't listen to music because I'd get striked. Drawing more rocks to hide behind. It's basically cover coming down this little path or whatever it is. I guess in reality, if you're trying to make a hidden camp, you wouldn't really have a trail going to it. Maybe like a game trail or something, but nothing like that, like just dirt path. I want to get some colored pencils so that I can end up drawing and coloring, make it look even better of a map, because colored in. I mean, it would look even better colored in. I do think that the way I do draw it looks good. And the fact that both maps are beside each other, and after I got them done, I was looking at it and I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. Like, that looks nice with two maps right there like that. Like, I mean, dual purpose, you know, two. You've got a campsite and you've got a bandit camp all on the same map. You know, I really enjoy making maps. I will say it occupies my time and gets me out of my head, because when I start, you know, getting in my head, it sometimes isn't a good place. I know a lot of people can probably relate to that, but making more trees there. See, one of the things I wanted to do was pack this up with trees, because technically it is a forest. They're in the bandit forest. It's already starting to look better there with all the trees. Like, even the ones you can't see, I'm making trees off the map there. And then the spaces in between the trees, I'm coloring in with pencil. Got tongue tied. I do that sometimes. But yeah, I make another tree off the grid there, and I color it in with a pencil. Just yeah. I don't think the players will be watching this video, but in case they do, I'm not going to tell you what the campsite battle map is for, because I don't want people to figure it out. Just like the battle map I did earlier, the gigantic hotel, I didn't say what it was for either. The only one that I am going to tell you what it is the bandit camp, because, well, hell, I done said it. And when you call something a bandit camp, it's pretty obvious what's in there. I mean, I guess you could, like, put something else in the bandit camp that hate the bandits or something, but no, that's not what I'm going with in this. It's possible, I guess. I guess I could do that, but nah. I think I'm drawing another rock there. Yeah. Try to make it more natural, like look like it's going up in the tree, you know. Start drawing some little, like, plants, grass and whatnot in there. And like I always say, I'm not the greatest artist, but I think I do all right. I mean, I think that might make sense to anybody that sees it. There I am checking it out. What else do I need to do? Oh, I'm going to draw some more plants going through my head. The black strap on my arm there is actually the remote to the camera. It came with a remote, which I thought was interesting. So I guess it's easier than reaching up to my head and, like, clicking the camera on as I do it. You know, it's just on my wrist. I can turn it off and on from there. But I do reckon that map is about finished up. The path going in, campsite, trees around it. Very nice, accurate. The last thing I'm going to do is some final touches to the trees. And then I did decide to leave it in pencil like I was talking about. But in order to see the map better, I decided to outline the entire thing in pen. That way that the border of the map is obvious. And people are not like, oh, that's on the map. Well, clearly combat can go off the map the way these maps are made, but I don't think it will. Things are usually pretty close, tight knit. And another reason I left everything in pencil is, like I was talking about earlier, I want to be able to edit when I need to, instead of just have it stuck there in pen and not be able to change it. So that outline looks pretty in the pen there, I think, anyway. Normally in my other maps that you've seen, I do use a pen, all pen basically. But in this one, I got the gel pen. I'm like thinking about it. Nah, I'm just going to outline it. Looks good. Pencil. that is the campsite. Highly satisfied with that. Go nodding my head, give you the thumbs up. Look at me, little punk ass, drawing on these maps. So here I start. I'm like, where should I put the entrance to this bandit camp? And I'm just like, yeah, right off the side here. And then I was thinking, like, how would the bandit keep its camp fortified? And I'm like, palisades. So I drew the one palisade, and I'm like, that just looks like an X. How am I going to do this the whole way down? So I figured that would look good. I just extended the 1X and drew the other palisades around it. And then came up with the fence there. They built a wooden fence. At least my best interpretation of drawing a wooden fence. And the wooden fence is connected on one side by this big old tree. I actually drew the trunk on it because I wanted to like basically show that the fence was on the tree and not just underneath it. Another thing there, I'm putting a basically a pad for a bandit to stand on, like a lookout. You know, a lot of these trees have bandit ledges. I guess you could, I don't know what you would call that, a bandit ledge, a platform. Yeah, that's probably it, platform. Come through there with the fence. I didn't want to make it just like a generic circle because it's like, that makes no sense. And I want it to be like semi-realistic. You know, I mean, it is fantasy, but I want the camp to be fortified from the front, like they have a very fortified front section. And then draw some trees there. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good looking map, too. Then we come down there. I bring the fence around, put the slats on it. And then at the end, excuse me, I'm going to draw a rock. So instead of going to a tree, this fence is going to go to a big old rock. Yeah. There we go. Now that glitch right there in the screen you saw where it kind of like jumped for screens is because the camera, and I don't know why I did this, but it only recorded for 18 minutes. And once that was up, it cut recording, and then it started a whole other video. Or that might have been it right there. So it clipped recording where the video ended because I had to basically stick both of them together. And I didn't want to put a transition in it because it's the same video. So I just stuck it on there like it normally is. Okay, here we go. For the bandit campfire, I actually drew something a little bigger because, you know, a bandit's going to have like a bonfire in their camp because there's going to be multiple bandits. Try to draw in travelers or something, take their money. Hell, I don't know. But kind of like stacked up the wood like a bonfire. Well, I already said bonfire, but Skyrim fire. You know, the giants have the wood that sticks up the tree trunks. And here I'm drawing like a 10 by 10 little shack, putting a bed in it. And then over there, I'm going to draw like just a square for a nightstand. And I sat there and I contemplate a minute. I'm like, do I put a chest in here or do I not? And then I just, for half a second, I decide, yeah, I'll put a little chest in here, an obvious one. I'm also going to make some chests that I'm not going to put on the map that they're going to have to actually roll for. Maybe not even some chests, maybe just some treasure in general. If you're watching this and you playing the game, you don't know. You don't know what I've done. Yes. Figure it out in game. Ginger ale. Okay. So I just start drawing a tree the way I was taught in art class in school. Just a bunch of lines and they kind of come together and make a tree. But as you can see, I mean, it doesn't look that great as a tree. So I decided to go back to actually drawing out the trunks for these trees and actually, I used to when I was a kid, I couldn't do that. I thought it looked goofy. And, I thought a more realistic tree was making the lines like that. But I like drawing the trunk on this map there. I mean, it's kind of inconsistent with the other trees because right there, the trees, you can actually see them standing up. And on the other side of the map, the trees are just the tops and dots for the trunk. Now, that might be confusing, first starting out, but when I look at the map and I'm done with it, having the trees like that actually made sense to me. It wasn't that bad. Up there, I'm kind of coloring it in because in the back, in that area, once you get that far back, it's just darkness in the forest. There's not light because when this map occurs, it's going to be the middle of the night. And here, like within the trees, leaves that you see, I'm drawing a building. I'm actually like cutting it through the tree. That way that you can see the treetop goes over the building, but at the same time, the building still goes under the tree, if that makes sense. And here I am getting building happy, and I'm drawing a third building. Ran out of ink, having to redo the line there. So I'm sitting there, I draw a door out, and then I look at the side above it, and I'm like, there's a 5-foot square that leads beside that building that goes over there. I don't like the way this looks. I draw this tree, and then I think about it. Draw another tree. I think about it. And then I start making another tree. I think about it. A lot of trees. And we'll get to the type of trees these are here in a minute because Bob Ross talks about happy trees. These aren't happy trees. These are angry trees. And look at my handiwork. What else do I need to do? And start drawing a bandit ledge or platform, I was saying. And that is why these are angry trees, because they have seen violence. These trees know what true violence is. They have bandits that live in them. Angry tree with a bandit bowman or whatever. I can see it. Maybe that's just me being strange. I don't know. Either way, I enjoy it. Draw the path coming in. And I've been thinking about this third building the whole time. There I am staring at it. And I can't stand it no more. I just have to erase it. Because in my mind, like I was saying earlier, like when I started drawing it, like narrating, it started bugging me, just seeing it narrating. And it's like, well, how do I want to make it now? Like the other way sucked. So I bring that building out 2 steps because I think I want it a little bit bigger. And then I decide, well, I don't even like it out 2 steps. I just bring it out another 5 feet because that adds 10 square feet. And there's a lot that you can do with 10 square feet in an area. So I draw another tree. And if I'm not mistaken, yep, that's another violent tree. It's got a bandit ledge in it. True violence. So look at it, admire my handiwork. What else do I need to do? I'm saying that partially because I've been narrating this so long, I forgot what I did in the map. Here I go. I decide that I want the buildings done in pen other than pencil because they show up better and you can see them through the trees. There goes my left foot cramping. Yeah, you see the buildings through the trees with the pen. It makes it easier. The ledges, I don't know. I might go back and do it. I don't think I will. It's possible. And just like the other one, I outline and pen. I think that this video, it's about over now, but I think it turned out a lot better than some of my other map videos. just the fact that I'm sitting there, I'm making the map, and people get to watch me make it and watch me rant while I do it. That's a big thing that I do, is rant while I'm making videos. But that is a neat little map.